CertainPath's model and how you all work with your members was just a perfect fit for ServiceTitan.
The CertainPath name has been brought up over the years. CertainPath wants you to do these things. We can provide tools and the KPIs and everything that you need to do that.
Yes.
Why wouldn't we work together? I think one of the big things you consistently hear is, how did I do this before?
Right.
What were we waiting for?
Right.
Time and time again.
In short, Bob, we're all in.
Joseph Morales, I've been at ServiceTitan just over 4 years.
Very good.
Traveling around doing events like this.
Very good. Very good. So,
Yeah, Phil Stern, ServiceTitan, been there for about half a year. Feels about 6 years more than 6 months, but it's been great. It's been a great journey. ServiceTitan now on the business development side.
So I actually started a coffee roaster program
really?
with Facebook, got into IT reseller, selling like servers, networking,
Okay.
security. Got a LinkedIn message from a recruiter
Okay.
at ServiceTitan. And it was one of those things where, man, I just feel really good about this.
Yeah.
And sure enough, took the job and love it.
So I was actually at Google for 12 years before joining ServiceTitan. So all software, all tech side. My journey there started on advertising, marketing side, working with a lot of small, medium-sized businesses. But yeah, I got reached out to by a recruiter from ServiceTitan, learned all I could, talked to a couple of friends of mine who were in the space, and this is the place to be. If you're going to make this through, Phil, go to ServiceTitan. And I haven't looked back. I took yourself last night, man. It was one of the best decisions of my life.
That's great. We are in a partnership now, CertainPath.
Yeah.
And ServiceTitan. What did, how excited are you guys for this? When did you know this was happening? What are your first impressions?
I think what we recognize is that CertainPath's model and how you all work with your members was just a perfect fit for ServiceTitan. We saw how you were coaching folks. We saw how there was like an entry level for folks to kind of come into. And then as they evolve their business, there's always an optionality for something like ServiceTitan that lets them evolve and move up the path in the software perspective.
Sure.
I think what the other thing is, and this is pretty much why I was kind of brought into ServiceTitan, is that we're working with a lot of partners now to build out a network to help our customers be even more successful than we've already seen on ServiceTitan. We think that, associations to do coaching, consulting, working ground to ground with businesses is exactly how we can do that. So, I'm proud to say that this program is really looking to invest with partners like ServiceTitan to help our customers grow. And as you're bringing on new customers and joint customers, there's just a lot of upside for both of us.
What's your take on the whole situation?
So for me, coming from the more like customer prospect facing side, CertainPath name has been brought up over the years. And I always love working with these types of groups because it's like, one, you have the CertainPath side, the coaching, they're pushing these contractors to be better, have this, expanding business. And then as the contractor, you actually get folks who are serious about their business. They want to grow. They want these things.
Yeah.
And that's like a perfect fit for us coming in.
Right.
It's like, hey, CertainPath wants you to do these things. We can provide tools and the KPIs and everything that you need to do that.
Yes.
Why wouldn't we work together?
Standout things from the show last week, any takeaways?
It was my first Pantheon, so my first rodeo, and it blew my mind. But I can tell you, I've worked at CES for years in my past life and stuff like that. So big, huge shows. I think Pantheon's a good balance between being grounded with ServiceTitan customers and then also bringing in partners like yourself who can talk about how we're elevating this relationship.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing for me was just being out there on the floor, and you saw it was just a lot of energy. A lot of people wasn't around. Sometimes you get to trade shows, you don't know quite what to expect, right? And do those things. So aside from all the awesome features, like products that we announced, all the cool stuff we're doing with AI, I love that stuff. I'm a tech guy at heart.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of goes back to your first point. It's like meeting our customers on the ground. That's the most ServiceTitan's customers I'll probably ever see in one place for until next year's Pantheon, right? But I had a lot of great conversations with them. And I think the standout thing to me was, hey, this is what I'm doing with ServiceTitan. There's always feedback, right? I think there's all good, transparent feedback on, I'm really excited about this. Oh, can you also do this? And I think even when there's things that they're looking for us to do, there's an excitement around that. Right? And that's the part that really stood out to me with Pantheon, is that this is what we're excited about. And I have a conversation with the partners that this was going really well. We're excited about doing this next with you. And that shows me the investment that we did.
Contractors you've talked to that didn't have the software and now they've adopted it. What are some of the things you always hear that they're like happy with?
I think one of the big things you consistently hear is, how did I do this before?
Yeah.
There's so many times where we're nervous, it's expensive. We don't know if this is a good fit for us, which fine. That's why we do demos. That's why we show folks.
Right.
Once they kind of pull the trigger and make that decision to move forward with ServiceTitan, you always hear, why didn't we do this sooner?
Right.
What were we waiting for?
Right.
Time and time again. And I love it because I will see the same people at a show
Sure.
the next year or another show. It's somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so it's nice when they come back and they go, I'm so glad we talked to you. We came by.
Yeah.
We love it. What's new? Like now they're the ones asking, hey, what else can we do?
Right.
Is this it?
Right.
So I usually point them in a different direction for somebody else.
Sure.
There's a lot more.
Sure.
But no, in seriousness, it's really cool to
Yeah.
hear that. And that I would say that's the number one thing you hear all the time.
Just don't know how we did it.
How did we do it before?
What is Dispatch Pro? How does it serve the contractor? How does it make their life easier?
So Dispatch Pro is really cool. That's that Titan Intelligence, our AI, helping a dispatcher make the right tech for the right job for profit. Just because you think this person is always the best, some companies have started using Dispatch Pro and then they realize, oh, actually, Jimmy's actually better at this and he's going to get the higher ticket rather than John, who we thought was really great.
Right.
So there's a lot of things like that. And again, back to the human nature factor. You have a feeling, you think this guy's good at it.
Right.
Dispatch Pro is telling you, no, based on what data we have, this is who you want to send to this job. You do have the option to have Dispatch Pro suggest who should go, and then you can choose yes or no. And then you can just fully let it do its thing. One dispatcher can now handle like 20-ish techs in dispatching and get them optimized quickly and boom, have them out and ready to go.
Yeah.
But
what a tool, I've been as a long time. You talk to small companies, you lose your dispatcher.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, but this sounds like you put a new person in or you promote them to dispatcher. And what a great tool.
Yeah.
What have you seen with contractors you've talked to that didn't have the software and now they've adopted it? What are some of the things you always hear that they're like happy with?
I think one of the big things you consistently hear is, how did I do this before?
Yeah.
There's so many times where we're nervous, it's expensive. We don't know if this is a good fit for us, which fine. That's why we do demos. That's why we show folks.
Right.
Once they kind of pull the trigger and make that decision to move forward with ServiceTitan, you always hear, why didn't we do this sooner?
Right.
What were we waiting for?
Right.
Time and time again. And I love it because I will see the same people at a show
Sure.
the next year or another show. It's somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so it's nice when they come back and they go, I'm so glad we talked to you. We came by.
Yeah.
We love it. What's new? Like now they're the ones asking, hey, what else can we do?
Right.
Is this it?
Right.
So I usually point them in a different direction for somebody else.
Sure.
There's a lot more.
Sure.
But no, in seriousness, it's really cool to
Yeah.
that. And that I would say that's the number one thing you hear all the time.
Just don't know how we did it.
How did we do it before?
Circle back to coaching and stuff. Most of our coaches have come from the industry or they're familiar with ServiceTitan, some, really well. But I know a number of them are going through the process of getting ServiceTitan certified.
Yeah.
So what is the value of that, working with a coach that has that kind of knowledge of the industry plus ServiceTitan? What kind of benefit is there?
Biggest advantage of working with a coach who's certified as a coach, because there's a couple of different certifications. You got to be certified as a ServiceTitan user. We've got our users, as Joseph mentioned as well, which is also really great. It shows a level. Coaching is a whole nother level up, right? Which means that you are specifically taught and go through a curriculum of not just learning the ServiceTitan product, but also how do you coach a business to hit those certain KPIs that we're talking about here and the ServiceTitan side. So what's great about what CertainPath is committed to and working with us on this is you get access to all our full curriculum. You get your own demo account, right? You get to go in there and actually move around things in the ServiceTitan product itself. So if someone has that experience doing that already, that speaks a lot to what your members will be looking for. They can go and show in a demo account, hey, this is exactly how you can do this. You can check this. We can go through a price book. It's a big commitment, which is why we're really excited about this partnership, because it's a big commitment for a coach to be certified.
Yeah. No, that's neat. So how do you guys envision being at our events and stuff? Because we do weekly boot camps called Executive Perspective for people that are non-members. And we have 2 events a year, national events. So how are you guys going to integrate with us in that?
Yeah, in short, Bob, we're all in. So from a partnership perspective, we want to be involved with as many events as you all will have us. One thing we wanted to make very clear with this is that this is not meant to be, we sign a deal, we shake hands, we say hi, we show up to one event, and you'll never see ServiceTitan again. One thing that we're standing up with this program is very much being present with the members, present with CertainPath, building in that curriculum. I think that's the biggest thing. Any of these events where we're doing education or empowering your users to get the more out of their software, even if they're not on ServiceTitan, right? How you think about software, how you think about AI, We want to show up to that. We want to bring some subject matter experts to talk to that. We know we got the 2 big events. We'll have presence there for sure. Great. We're excited about those. But even then, in between there, don't expect us to disappear if that's the expectation.